Everybody, welcome to 522, week 6. So there's a lot coming up soon, but this week between week 6 and 7, or just during week 6, it is a lighter week. So I encourage you to look ahead to week 7, see what's coming up on week 8, and try and get ahead depending on how your end of the school year and how the craziness and overwhelmingness and grades and narratives and all those things end up being. Good news, not a lot this weekend as far as like big projects do. So we do have a week 6 discussion board. There's a couple articles you're required to read this week. The reflection is to share your thoughts on the reading and then respond to two of your peers. So that should be pretty straightforward. The big picture we're looking at this week is emerging trends. There is a link to something called WeForum and then trends to watch from OEDB. There's also one other that I actually wanted to talk through with you guys. It was Cue's blog. Cue, CUE, the California EdTech organization, and it is the Cue shortlist. So Cue had 5 trends to adopt, 5 to abandon. So if you go to it's blog.cue.org. There's all kinds of amazing articles. They take a lot of stuff from their Cue journal. It was right next to me. Someone just moved that. Anyway, that doesn't matter as much. But you can just type in shortlist. You can learn all about different things, like the latest post is about Cue Rockstar camps. So if you are not sure about those, then take a look at Cue Rockstar camps. Blog.cue.org is a great place to start, but Cue came out and I helped work on this list. I am the chair of the communications committee for Cue, so in a lot of kind of the back end, I'm trying to give you guys a little bit of the inside scoop, and this is one of those just gems that didn't get shared as broadly as I think it could have, but I think is perfect for this week. So I'll just kind of walk through, give you kind of the cliff notes of them. So 5 trends to love, 5 to lose is how they framed it, and I love that. So the maker movement, the whole idea that with these devices, you've seen these smartphones, right? This should fundamentally change what we do as teachers. And I don't know that it has, certainly not for every classroom, and even for me, like what I do even with you guys, like I don't know that this has fundamentally changed our interactions in ways that it could, because these phones are the most powerful storytelling devices we have ever had. We're able to write books, have entire like photo exhibits, make movies, and then with that little share button, we call it at our school a shareo, right? That arrow, the share. When you click that shareo, just like that, our students and us as educators can become authors, can be movie makers, right? With a click, we can actually publish books. Our students can publish books. They can publish and share and release a photo gallery. They can distribute their own movies. We think of YouTube as just silly cat videos or, like, haha, the latest hashtags or whatever, or silly music video. And it's so much more than that. So I think when we think of the maker movement, it tends to move immediately to like tinkering and cardboard things and laser cutting and 3D stuff and like Maker Faire. And I would say all of that, yes, and just like anything is making. And I think embracing that and thinking about, right, we have this physical space and rows in desks in classrooms used to be just in rows. A lot of people refer to that as cemetery style, right? Because it's just, it looks like a cemetery and it kind of has the same sort of feel. With these devices, we don't have to face forward because the teacher no longer is the only source of information. We have the world's knowledge at our fingertips. So our classes can look more like Starbucks. You might hear about Starbucking your classroom. That's what that refers to. It can be more flexible. It can be more comfortable. I mean, my goodness, do you see the tech office? You don't actually. You just see this, right? I am sitting in a really cool, like, kind of swivel chair, right? There's a couch in the tech office. There's a base. There's B-bots. There's laptops. A little rolly cart of stuff. It's a place that I'm excited to be at. Like it's 4:30 on a Friday, and it's amazing. Like I like being in this space, and a lot of that is just because like it's comfortable. So that's the first one, maker movement. Second one is student voice. I think that goes right back to this, right? If you put student learning and engagement at the center of everything you do, It's scary, but it's free, right? You're not going to pay $15,000 for a laser cutter. Just you give students control. Things like 20% time or Genius Hour projects. Pause me and go Google those if you have no idea what those are. Kevin Brookhauser has a book on it. It's amazing. Giving students choice and making classrooms more student-centered is another trend to adopt. That's number 2. Third one is the TOSA. So that's an acronym, Teacher on Special Assignment. The trend with this was more technology TOSAs. The idea of a learning coach is that you can actually have a peer that will help you meaningfully integrate technology. Fourth one is laptops and tablets. They've been around forever, but they're at this tipping point where they're becoming ubiquitous. It's no longer, oh, you guys are one-to-one? That's amazing. It's starting to become the assumption. That's the fourth one. The fifth one is open education. So if you don't know about open education resources, OER, Google it. It's an exciting time because it means we don't have to use a textbook. We need to have some curriculum. A district needs to adopt something. They can adopt open resources, and those are free. And that frees up dollars for things like a laser cutter that's crazy expensive, flexible furniture and seating and technology and, BBots, all of those things. So those are the 5 trends to adopt that CUE came out with. 5 to lose. The first one is the teacher lecture, right? Are you starting to see a theme here? With these devices, the teacher and the textbook are no longer the only sources of information. So teachers standing up and saying, sit down, shut your mouth for 45 minutes while I talk at you, that is done. That's the first thing we need to lose. Second thing we need to lose, and again, this is coming from CUE, and I'm on board with most of this, some stronger, some not as much. Second thing they suggest, interactive whiteboards. There's a couple things I see wrong with those. First is that only one person can use it at a time. So for the price, it's about the same amount to be one-to-one iPads or one interactive whiteboard. Which would you prefer if you could spend $10,000, $15,000? Probably going to spend $10,000 on a class set of iPads these days, especially since that price point, the lowest end is amazing now. It's $329. Class set of those is actually now cheaper than one interactive whiteboard. The other thing is it makes one place the front of the classroom, when really you can have math happening all around us. Ed Campos Jr. calls it Math 360. If you ever have a chance to see him, he will blow your mind. That's the second thing we need to lose, interactive whiteboards. Third thing, reading anthologies. Right? You're getting the theme now, aren't you? Right? We have poetry, articles, blogs, slam poetry, people reading on YouTube, or as my mom still calls it, the YouTubes. We're not limited to only these books that we bought from this one publisher, where actually the publisher decides what we teach, which feels so backwards, but it used to be that was the only source of knowledge. And now we're able to have so many more choices for that. The fourth thing we need to lose is paper in the classroom. I still think we need paper. In fact, if we have giant stacks of Post-it notes all around campus, lots of meetings are with paper. But the idea that you're just going to have a giant stack of paper to give to students, or that you're going to print out copies and they're going to write on them and turn them into you, and at the end of the week you have a stack this big that you end up just kind of throwing away half the time, or I should say I did that on occasion. When there's too much paper, right? Being able to actually just share that as a Google Doc instead of Google Classroom, and then students can submit it to you. You can quickly leave comments in a Google Doc. You can share it with other people, and students can leave comments on each other. Sometimes they can do that asynchronously. Sometimes they can do it in real time. Have them submit that or share it, and then as they're writing, another person's peer editing, maybe in their classroom, maybe they're not in the classroom. These are things we can be doing, but if we use paper, it's so limiting, and the whole killing of trees things. And that's the fourth thing. The fifth thing we need to lose is homework. So this is definitely a can of worms. I will say there's been a lot of research, and depending on your grade level, the research shows that either homework is completely useless or maybe a wash. It's as helpful as it is damaging. So I'm not going to put a stake in the ground too much. I think it's beyond the scope of the classroom. But I would encourage you, if you've not done much research around homework or looking into the research of homework, it's interesting. We're at a really interesting place. And the one argument I would make, and the thinking of yours I think I would push is it's still very incredibly valuable for students to work on something, right? We don't want to say just like the only time you ever learn or work is at school. Students still need to be working at home, but with devices like this, right? Have them write a book and publish it and work on the art. Have them write a comic book. Have them make a movie. Have them do a photo gallery. There's some incredible things that you can do. Like everything basically you've done in this course, you could have them do as an assignment. Um, Things that are just so much more interesting, that are so much more shareable, that are so much more valuable than kind of the traditional like here's a homework packet on paper. Do this kind of busy work. I think that I would agree that has kind of run its course, and that we have these incredibly rich learning opportunities that our students can have. So maybe there's a shift of homework, but I think that word has kind of become corrupted at this point. So anyway, so that is CUE's blog, blog.q.org. That was their 5 to adopt, 5 to love, 5 to lose. I'll share a link on that, but I wanted to give you just a bit more of my thoughts on latest educational trends. So hope you enjoy the slightly lighter week in week 6. Week 7 is going to pick way back up. So hang in there next week and enjoy a little bit of the lighter week for week 6.